5 weeks. Every team on the Formula One grid has had 5 full weeks since the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka to go back to the factory, study the data, build new parts, run simulations, and prepare the biggest upgrade packages the sport has seen at a single race weekend in years. And now, every one of those packages is about to be unwrapped at the Miami Grand Prix, the race the entire paddock has been calling the start of a new championship. Ferrari called it first. Fred Vasseur stood at Suzuka and said it plainly. Everyone will bring new upgrades to Miami. They will have time to work on the software and a new championship will start. And he was not wrong. Because what is heading to the Miami International Autodrome this weekend is not a normal upgrade cycle. This is an industry-wide development sprint unlike anything the sport has produced in the opening rounds of a season in a very long time. Today, we are going team by team through the biggest upgrade stories heading into Miami, what each team is bringing, what they are trying to solve, and which upgrades could genuinely shift the pecking order when the lights go out on Sunday. Subscribe to NASCAR Report for motorsport coverage every single week. Now, let us go. Mercedes delivered on their preseason promise by winning all 3 races so far and took control of both championships, entering the break brimming with confidence. But that did not mean they took their foot off the gas, using the extra weeks at their Brackley base to refine an already impressive chassis. There is a significant complication coming for the Silver Arrows. The FIA ruled that Mercedes' compression ratio approach would not be allowed after a change to the sporting regulations from June 1st. As a result, Mercedes must change their power unit by the Monaco Grand Prix, and if reports are correct, that change could cost them 0.3 seconds per lap. Miami may be the last weekend the full Mercedes power advantage operates without restriction. That makes Sunday potentially more important for the Silver Arrows than it appears. The defending Constructors' champions have had the most painful start to a title defense in recent memory. In China, both Norris and Piastri failed to start the Grand Prix due to separate issues with their Mercedes customer battery, costing the team an entire race worth of data. Piastri's second place in Japan was their first podium of 2026, but it masked the MCL40's clear lack of downforce and high tire wear rate. McLaren boss Andrea Stella said the plan from the beginning was to deliver a completely new car from an aerodynamic upgrades point of view for the North American races, and that across Miami and Canada, the world will see an entirely new MCL40. He then added the line that tells you everything. He stressed this is what he would expect of most competitors, meaning it will effectively be a check on who has been able to add more performance within the same time frame. Beyond raw pace, McLaren also wants to make the MCL40 easier to understand, addressing a drivability issue that has complicated life for both drivers as they try to maximize the 2026 regulations. A car that is faster and easier to drive gives its drivers the confidence to push every lap. That combination is what turns podiums into victories. Ferrari arrives at Miami having been Mercedes' closest challenger through 3 races without breaking through. Leclerc has 2 podiums. Hamilton has rediscovered genuine form, but the gap to the Silver Arrows has been consistent, around half a second in both qualifying and race trim. Ferrari's upgrade package combines aerodynamic changes with meaningful software improvements, tested at a filming day on Monza on April 22nd. On the software side, the focus is on optimizing battery deployment and harvesting while minimizing superclipping, a limitation that has affected Leclerc and Hamilton compared to Mercedes. Ferrari's power unit currently lags behind Mercedes by more than 2%. Martin Brundle was direct about what Miami could deliver, saying Ferrari will make a big step and that with 19 races remaining, the championship is genuinely wide open. He said any of the top 4 teams' 8 drivers could win the 2026 World Championship. That is not empty commentary. That is a 40-year veteran calling what he actually sees. Red Bull's situation is the most dramatic in the Miami paddock. Verstappen sits 9th in the championship. The team is 6th in the constructors' standings. The RB22 is carrying somewhere anywhere between 10 and 20 kilograms above the minimum weight limit, a deficit that hurts performance across every area of the car. And yet, the power unit that everyone expected to be the problem has turned out to be a genuine strength. The Silverstone filming day gave Red Bull its first chance to gather data on a comprehensive new package, revised front wing end plates, redesigned side pods, and their interpretation of Ferrari's Macarena rear wing concept. Mikas said the goal is simply to have a car where the drivers can push again. That single sentence tells you exactly where Red Bull is, a car so difficult to drive that the four-time world champion can't extract what it is theoretically capable of. Racing Bulls pushed their Bahrain package to Miami, meaning they arrive with 2 rounds of development compressed into one upgrade hit. Team principal Alan Permane said he is very confident they can keep up with, if not outperform, the midfield. Aston Martin and Williams both used the extended brake to accelerate packages that could deliver bigger jumps than anyone expects. And then there are the mid-season regulation tweaks affecting every team simultaneously. The FIA has brought the maximum harvesting limit down from 7 to 7 megajoules, while teams can now harvest the full 350 kilowatt limit while superclipping on full throttle. A new emergency mode at the start has also been introduced as a safety measure. These changes mean every car is operating under different power unit rules than it did in Japan, on top of whatever upgrade package each team has developed. Calibrating both simultaneously across a sprint weekend with one practice session is the defining technical challenge of the entire Miami race week. The extended time at the factory has undoubtedly allowed designers and engineers up and down the grid to hone and enhance their packages, far beyond what a normal race schedule would allow. What that means in practice is that nobody knows where anyone truly stands until cars hit the Miami International Autodrome on Friday afternoon and the data starts coming in. That is the most honest summary of the entire Miami upgrade story. Every team has brought something significant. Every team believes their package has delivered genuine performance, and every team is about to find out for the first time whether the 5 weeks they spent at the factory actually moved them forward relative to the competition, or whether they have simply stayed in the same position they were in when they left Suzuka. Drop your take in the comments. Which team do you think has the biggest upgrade at Miami? And can anyone actually close the gap to Mercedes before Monaco? Subscribe to NASCAR Report for motorsport coverage every single week. CTA Strong. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you at Miami.